My name is Shandi, and tonight we are talking buttons. And that puts me in a good mood. That puts me in a good mood.
I said you'll have fun, and I won't disappoint you.
Welcome, fellow Kiss fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. And tonight, I just kind of want to touch base super fast on last week. I film a week in advance, so last week's episode did not reflect the sentiment of what had gone on during the week last week. So I will use this opportunity to just say my thoughts and prayers out to anyone impacted by the three tragedies that took place last week. Last week was a pretty odd week. I spoke in my weekly wax how it just felt like the air got sucked out of the room, and we're just going to leave it at that. But I will add, like, social media, it's a horrible place. But you can either use social media for good or bad, and it sickens me how a lot of it's over the past week has been used for horribly bad, but I'm glad that we're here doing good. I think we're doing good. I hope we're doing good, and we're gonna keep this good. We're gonna keep this very good. This is a place of positivity and fun and nostalgia and dogs and Kiss. So I thank you for being here, and I feel like Forrest Gump. My hot faces are kind of all over the place. Topic tonight is just added to that, being all over the place. I was speaking to my buddy FL Dog, and it feels like vintage merch is pretty much dried up on eBay right now, unless you have a lot of money and are willing to part with a lot of money for said vintage merch. It just feels like we're in like a very dry spell. That's what I feel like. One of my hot faces is keychains. For some reason, I'm big into keychains. I refound this keychain. It's like a reunion era keychain that does that design that Ace made, where the faces morph into each other. Sorry, there's a reflection on this, but you can kind of see the logo changes and all the faces go from one member to the next. Kind of fun. I bought it at an expo back before we had smartphones, so this was like, I was living in Kansas City, so it would have been 99, but there you go. So I'm kind of into keychains all of a sudden. I would like if I could get a 80s like acrylic keychain for every album. That would be awesome. Like if somebody would make those, they don't even have to be vintage. FL Dog, he collects like a lot of those 80s rock keychains, and they're super cool, but I have to stick only to Kiss. I can't do any other band. I was looking on eBay, and there's some cool Motley Crue ones, there's some cool Poison ones. I have to stick strictly Kiss. So it's harder for me because a lot of the keychains are post-reunion era into the new band, Tommy and Eric, which nothing wrong with that, but I just don't want a keychain at that. There's a cool rock and roll over keychain that came out from Kiss Online, not available anymore on Kiss Online, it's on eBay, and there's an awesome Crazy Nights one, but again, I don't want to pay Slayer Forever prices. I believe Slayer Forever is selling one, and again, nothing to these sellers, price as you want. I'm just a cheapskate. And another hot face is the topic of tonight, but two things came in from fellow Kiss fans that I thought we would touch on because they are a hot face, and it's very cool. You know I'm big on iron-ons. Well, my buddy Jeff sent in this Gene Simmons iron-on, which is absolutely awesome. He put it on a shirt, and I told him that I said I love to collect iron-ons, but putting them in a book doesn't do it, but putting them on a shirt brings them to life. And so this is very cool. I have this iron-on paper in a book, but man, it's just so much cooler on a shirt. And thank you, Jeff. I am very happy to add that to the collection. Next up, my buddy Mike wrote in for some Pee Wee, Large Marge. I need to add Shandi to some stickers. some dog swag, so I'm gonna send out some stickers to him. But he sent these cool like laminate copies of Paul Stanley and Ace's taxi cab licenses. And the Paul one really struck me. Ace does too, but the Paul one really struck me because it's a very good reminder to us dreamers. I think anyone who watches this channel, I know me personally, like, we're all dreamers. We want to do something cool in life. Like, that's always been my thing. I just want to do something cool. Seeing this reminds me that, you know, we all have day jobs. We all have a place to go during the day. And it's a good reminder that they don't own you. They don't own you. They don't own your dreams. They don't own your aspirations. Because look at the dates on this taxi cab license. You must renew this taxi cab license between March 5th, 1974 and March 15th, 1974. Now put yourself in history. March 1974. This guy pictured here on this taxi cab license didn't give a fuck about driving a cab anymore because he was actually doing it. He was doing something cool. And I think this is just a great reminder that work doesn't own us. We own our dreams and we own our destiny. So thank you, Mike and Jeff, for those wonderful things. And my last bit of thoughts, I'm going to include this in HOTFACE because it's just my last kind of announcement. And it is this: the Wax Museum, Wax Night Basement, Wax Night Basement 2.0. Work is going to begin on the basement mid-October, towards the end of October, and it's going to run through mid-November, the end of November, right before Thanksgiving. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if, like, upstairs will be frantic while the downstairs is being renovated. I still hope to film, but I will say, once the basement is done, my wife and I are going to have to paint, and I'm going to have to decorate. And so that may take weekends, and if that takes weekends, I may not be able to film. This is a good problem to have because we're going to have a basement again, and it's just going to be much more cooler and kick-ass once we get it. So in the event you don't see a video, know that it's for a good cause, and we're going to come back swinging with a new basement and lots of fun. This is a good problem to have. So that's the end of my HOTFACE. Leave your HOTFACE below, and let's wax. Now the topic tonight and another HOTFACE is part of the 1977 TGNY oh my gosh, TGNY Family Center checklist. I'm such a dork, but it's so much fun. So I made a checklist of toys that a kid would have gotten in 1979 from stores. One of the HOTFACEs, two of the HOTFACEs that I have not gone down are jewelry and buttons. Jewelry, out of the question. For the time being, way too expensive. Way too hard to track down. Buttons, on the other hand, are fun. And I know the Hotline buttons were sold in stores because they came with these backers. And I have purchased my first 2 Hotline buttons. This is the 77 Hotline button featuring the 76 group shot with Paul with the star on the wrong eye. The version with Paul with the star in the correct eye is Slayer Forever Money prices on eBay. So it's a tough one to get. FL Dog does not have it. I told him he has first dibs when one comes up. I hope to get one day, but this is going to be a long process. These buttons and jewelry, toy guitar, art set, things like that from the 77 checklist are going to be a very long endeavor. But I'm looking forward to getting more of these buttons. Some are priced very high, so I'm an old lady looking for deals. And then the other one I got was the Kiss Army logo. These are 3-inch buttons. Lots of fun. When I was at the John 5 Museum, he had a box of the 6-inch buttons. Those are unreal and super cool. So that'll be a one-day thing. And I'm going to say it'll be a one-day thing that can take place, because we're positive boys here. Well, that is it for tonight. Short and sweet. And again, I was standing close to the camera because there's the furniture the camera stands on. there's the dog. I had this little room right there. She loves to pancake right here all the time. Hides behind this dog bed, super low to the ground, and you can't find her. This is the first dog I've ever had that like lays on the ground. Most of my dogs have always laid on couches, and if you've seen any of the Larmar Pee-wee videos, you know what that's like. But as we say, be good to your babies. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care, be safe. Thank you for waxing rock and roll nostalgia with us here in the Wax Night house, soon to be the Wax Night basement again. And we will talk to you soon.